Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday morning. Howdy. Here we go, fun Tuesday. Rolling Stone and January 6th inquiry is getting hot. Yeah, it is. That's correct, and we'll be looking at that in just a moment here. Hope everyone grabbed their coffee. I did see a cute animal video redemption yesterday. So I do apologize, Alio, but when you get here, or if you get here today, don't worry, I will honor that cute animal video. We've got quite the amount of headlines to go through. I've got my coffee ready, so I think we're good to go. Alright folks, we do have quite, before we get into anything, there is a small public service announcement. This was brought to our attention thanks to Heat420_. If you are in the UK, this would apply to you. Please be careful out there. Rise in needle spiking puts women in Britain on high alert. Britain is increasingly feeling like a hostile place for women. There have been multiple reports of needle spiking, which involves an injection being administered to someone without their knowledge or consent, usually in a nightclub or bar setting, as opposed to the more commonly known method of contaminating alcoholic drinks. Holy yikes, Batman. Sarah Owen, a 19-year-old student in Nottingham, Central England, said she woke up after clubbing with a sharp, agonizing pain in my leg and almost zero recollection of the night before. She walked with a limp and remained for the remainder of the day, she wrote on social media, before finding a pinprick, realizing that she had been spiked by a needle that had pierced through her jeans. Yikes. Thankfully, she added her friends who had noticed her behaving strangely helped her return safely home. So yeah, please be careful. And furthermore, the fact that this is even a thing is disturbing. The fact that this form of spiking is happening is horrifying with memory loss. With the memory loss it brought me. True. Was it supposed to be a fun night? Leads us to the fear of the unknown. Yikes. Nottinghamshire police said that this week it had received a total of 15 reports of alleged spiking to sharp objects since October 2nd, with the majority of reports made by women in venues across popular university towns. Two men had been arrested so far on suspicion of conspiracy to administer poison with the intent to injure, annoy, or aggrieve. Yikes. Just be careful out there. That's all. Hey Thandera. Hey Kala, what did I walk into? Yeah, I know that's a crime apparently. But the whole point is, please be aware if you're in England. This is a thing. Instead of the traditional way of like drugging a drink or poisoning it, well, not poisoning necessarily, but drugging a drink to intoxicate a person is a no-no, first of all, and second of all, it's a problem here in Nottingham, England. So just be aware, you know. I'll be careful not to get a spike in my ass. Yeah, that's a great yeah, just be careful out there. Just a simple annoyance, you know. Yeah, I don't know like what this means. I'm not a person of the United Kingdom, so I don't know what this means. Puts on metal celibacy belt. A chastity belt, yeah, that's right. Anyways, TLDR, please be careful. Please be aware. Okay? If you see something, say something. Now, yeah, good idea, Kal-El. So that's my PSA. I got poisoned, so annoying, true. That's such a weird framing, right? Such a weird framing of the law, right? With the intent to annoy or aggrieve. Like, wait, if you get administered poison, out of all the things that I would use to describe poison, annoyed or aggrieved would probably be at the bottom of the list. Anyways, the seriousness is just please be aware of this, and more importantly, don't be that person. Okay? Don't be that person. More importantly, don't be that person. Okay? I was going to be that person, but then Carlos said not to. Exactly. Exactly. That's how we... There we go. That's how we fix it, right? Just don't be that person. Easy clap. US billionaire tax proposal seems to unite Democrats, but will it work? Okay. A first-of-its-kind proposal from Democratic lawmakers to tax US billionaires on the assets they own is expected to face challenges from the super rich, be tough to implement, says tax experts and investors. And of course, hold on folks, because the memes literally only write, the memes write themselves. Give me 1 second. Oh my goodness, this person tweets so incessantly. That being said... Hold on, folks. Don't worry, eventually I'm gonna find it. Weird cringe. Trust me, I don't need to subject you to a lot of these tweets. But, oh, you know what? Maybe I could look it up here. Aha! Okay, this was a lot easier. I should have probably gone through this. I was gonna be that yeah, base take. Exactly. Here we go. I don't need to subject you to that many tweets. But of course, the first person to come to bat for a tax that doesn't even affect him the first person to come to bat for a tax that doesn't even affect them.
Please clap.
Tell me you don't understand economics. Tell me how you don't understand economics while telling me you don't understand, without telling me you don't understand economics. They have like 99% of the wealth in the country, but will do anything to stop talks about taxing themselves immediately. Yeah, and like, you know, here we have Ben Shapiro being the first, one of the first people to go to bat for billionaires. If by challenges they mean billionaires going to Fox Business and screaming that their assets are all being seized by the government, then yes. Oh, I thought it was the wealth tax we were talking about? Yeah, exactly. This is the wealth tax that they're, that he is describing as insanity. This is Ben Shapiro, everybody. I don't understand economics. Well, to be fair, I don't understand the complete intricacies of economics myself, so.
What's under consideration is a
Hold on, I'm sorry guys, let me rewind that.
I think what's under consideration is a proposal that Senator Wyden and the Senate Finance Committee have been looking at that would impose a tax on unrealized capital gains on liquid assets held by extremely wealthy individuals.
Oh,
billionaires. I wouldn't call that a wealth tax, but it would help get at capital gains, which are an extraordinarily large part of the incomes of the wealthiest individuals.
I'm not calling it a wealth tax, but it just happens to target the 0.0001% who are incredibly wealthy, and this is how they have their assets. But I'm not calling it a wealth tax. I mean, like, come on. I know that, like, the PR sounds, you know, I know that you have to do PR, but, like, come on. Just say it. Just say it. The wealthy need to pay their fair share, and it's about that damn time. That's it. That's it. It's not that hard. It's not that big a deal. It's just what needs to happen. There are some crap economics around in MAGA world, true. Jeff Bezos already pays a whopping 0% taxes. How much more can you expect from him? Oh, but of course, didn't you realize that Jeff Bezos is actually... Oh, wait, should I do the Ben Shapiro thing? Well, actually, if you guys... the radical left actually doesn't understand how economics works, because Jeff Bezos is actually the really wealthy... is actually the wealth creator. So why should a person who spent their entire life creating so much wealth, so much value to the to society, have to actually pay their fair share of taxes? I mean, this is insane. This is what the radical left wants to do. Hey, Silver Knight Dragon, no one understands economics. People go to school to learn about economics, but economics still remains a total mystery to experts. Yeah, I mean, like, economics, like, sometimes, I swear, like, sometimes it's like it's weird. Because, like, imagine decades of studies and stuff like that, of known models and things like that to indicate that, you know, maybe raising the minimum wage isn't actually going to affect like unemployment and things like that, and economists push back on that so hard for decades, and then the Nobel Prize winner cemented the reality that actually raising minimum wage has no effect on unemployment, and immigration actually doesn't depress wages like people continued to screech about, right? I mean, I could have told you that. Where's my Nobel Peace Prize? Not Nobel Peace, the Nobel Prize for Economics. Amazing to me that folks think this small thing is insanity off in the corner. They don't know how radical I'd rather things be. True. Ben Shapiro is the #1 economics understander. True. Clearly, a intellectual giant on display. Truly an intellectual giant. So yeah, the wealth tax, in an attempt to get billionaires to pay their fair share, Ben Shapiro is really the first one to run on Twitter and defend the billionaires for some reason. Even though he's not a billionaire, this would have absolutely no effect on him whatsoever. But okay. You know, very logic. Very logic. A first of its kind proposal from Democratic lawmakers to tax U.S. billionaires on assets they own is expected to face challenges from the super rich and be tough to implement. But not quite so, Reuters. Not quite so, as you have Ben Shapiro here running to defend them. The proposal, which is set to be unveiled as soon as Tuesday, would require roughly 700 U.S. Oh no, guys, a country of 325, or wait, no, way more. 300 and something million people. 700 of them are going to be affected by this. No way. No way. Require roughly 700 US billionaires to pay taxes annually when their stocks and some assets increase in value, according to people familiar with the matter. Currently, such taxes are only due when stocks are sold. U.S. House Representative Speaker Nancy Pelosi said the Democrats hope the plan would raise as much as $250 billion to pay for the expanding social safety net and tackling climate change. Well, here's the problem. What climate change initiative? What social safety net? Excuse me? What social safety net? But okay, whatever. I still stand by the logic that you should tax billionaires a lot more. There are nuances to what you speak about. The taxes is about what amount the person extracts in the world for their use. Bezos grabs a huge chunk. Should he pay the same tax as others? No, he should pay his fair share. Right now, he's currently paying an effective tax rate of like, I forget what the papers from ProPublica said, but it was like 0.9% or something like that. An effective tax rate of like 0.9. And in some years, he pays 0 in federal taxes. 0. Right, Silver Knight Dragon. Ooh. Oh no. Looks up wage theft. Who does this affect? Gee. Now, mind you, a wealth tax isn't the end-all be-all. A wealth tax isn't the end-all be-all, right? I mean, like, imagine having hundreds of billions of dollars and that being your biggest problem. is an extra whatever percent of a wealth tax. So he should pay at least 10% of everything. You mean like, for example, if the budget, just to give you a number, if the budget for the government expenditure is, I don't know, 100 billion, he should pay 10 billion. Yeah, that's a massive tax. And even then, he'll still have hundreds of billions of dollars. Nah, he should pay more than that. He should pay more than that, Astro. He should pay way more than that. Remember, this system, this infrastructure, all of these, the key infrastructure, and the workers, and the government, is what created the roadmap for Jeff Bezos to be where he is. So he owes all of that back to society, because that's what made him. That and his small loan of $300,000 from his family, but from his parents, but It reminds me of the Big Pharma ad that said if you tax big drug companies, they will get their feelings hurt and stop making your medicine. And then it said Democrats want to tax your medicine away, or hear me out. Maybe the medicine shouldn't cost as much to begin with. Anyways, in 1944, income over 2.5 million in today's dollars was taxed at 94%. Can we get back to that? That would be great. That's a good progressive tax, like we used to have, and nobody complained back then. There wasn't like a magical disappearance of wealth. There was still plenty of wealthy people. So what's the deal? Yeah, very much in favor. Oh yeah, 100%, Kalo. If there is a progressive tax system that taxed everybody over $2.5 million, over 90%, 94%, then yeah, tax them. The provisions may be tough to implement. Yeah, like the country didn't fall into chaos because the rich paid their fair amount of taxes back then, right? In fact, wasn't there like a massive economic boom when all of this was implemented? Wasn't there like a massive economic boom when some type of regulatory New Deal program, progressive tax, the Glass-Steagall Act, things like that? Wasn't there like a giant economic boom? It's almost like in order for this kind of system to even function, it kind of needs all this, right? That is what built America back then. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at, Bag Shop Guru. Most of Bezos' wealth comes from stocks and shit, not payroll. He makes less than me from payroll. Ah. When you're that wealthy or when you own that much asset, it's very easy. It's very easy to do funny stuff with money, especially if you're wealthy enough to afford the people who can help you do funny stuff with money. There are welcoming places where you can register for tax to almost nothing. Example, the Cayman Islands and Ireland. Yes, which, to be fair, to your point, Astro, London, there has to be some type of international cooperation to kind of like really clamp down on that. So yeah, that's a thing. Apparently South Dakota is a tax haven now. Yes, that is also true. The provisions may be tough to implement even if they become law. Experts say some billionaires will shift their wealth away from assets that are easily tracked and taxed under new rules to ones that are not. They also warned that a sharp market decline could give billionaires a new tax break. It's a stupid idea, said billionaire Leon Cooperman, an investor who warned such a law could cause unnatural economic reactions. The progressives are out to lunch. Now that's weird. Hey chat, nothing makes me more suspicious. Nothing makes me press X to doubt faster than a billionaire saying it's a stupid idea to make a billionaire tax and then say, quote, it would cause unnatural economic reactions and the progressives are out to lunch. Nothing makes me want to press X to doubt more than that. And 2 years ago, Bezos claimed 88K as his income. Yeah, he has all his stuff in like, I guess other assets. Like I said, if you're wealthy enough, you can do a lot of funny stuff. Spiny Watson, how's it going? Howdy, howdy. Welcome. But Gabriel Zuckman, a University of California, Berkeley economics professor whose research on the subject helped inspire Democratic tax proposals, said that billionaires have lower taxes than the middle class as a percentage of their income. Yeah, I think this is exactly what Bike Shop Guru was saying. It would be historic. It would be the most progressive tax ever. Really interesting. Getting billionaires to pony up may be one of the ideas capable of uniting Democrats who are trying to resolve, except for Kirsten Sinema, who are trying to resolve other ideological disputes over what their social, over what should be in their social spending package. It's a bill signature policy for President Joe Biden and is likely to be valued at $1.5 trillion or more over the next 10 years. Finally, like this, over 10 years is very rarely, seldom seen in the media. Biden backs taxing the wealthy and corporations more heavily and has privately supported the proposal focused on taxing billionaires, according to a person familiar with his thinking. Democratic Senator Manchin, a conservative, I can't do this. I can't do this. A conservative with virtual veto over Biden's agenda. Now that is a great, I like this part. A virtual veto for Biden's agenda in the evenly divided Senate said on Monday, I'm open to any type of thing that makes people pay that's not paying now. The fuck does that mean? For taxes, government should only tax property at rate that correlates to the amount of square feet owned. Tell me you don't understand how government works without telling me you don't understand how government or economics work. 3 decades of neoliberalism, working as intended. True. I think this would help ownership rates, which usually the US has really low. Yeah, but it's not because of taxes. I guarantee that. I guarantee it's not because we're going to implement a billionaire tax. That's the problem as why we have such abysmal home ownership rates. There's a reason for that. And it's not taxes. The proposal, if passed, will likely face an immediate challenge in court and by taxpayers eager to evade the rules. Well, good thing that the only people you have to worry about is the 700 billionaires who would be affected by this. I don't get it. I could potentially see people trying to get out of the easier to value assets, and Tim LaFay, a lawyer who heads tax policy and research at Rockefeller Capital Management, which manages money for wealthy families. Obviously, everything that's publicly traded has an established value, so we may see a push into alternative investments. He also said there could be legal challenges, such as contesting whether appreciated assets that have not been sold can be treated by the federal government as taxable income. Republicans do not support Biden's social spending bill and will likely oppose the billionaire tax. Yeah, no kidding. They're talking about rewiring the economy. The entire economy. Hey folks, I remember too when taxing the billionaires was a rewiring of the entirety of the economy. What's the reason for low home ownership rates, chat? Can you please answer that question? They're talking about rewiring the entire economy after a couple of days of discussion on the back of an envelope, said, of course, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, adding the harebrained scream had not received any meaningful study or scrutiny. Except it has. What? Under the plan details, which are still being finalized, gains in stocks of other easily traded assets would be taxed only for taxpayers with $1 billion in assets or $100 million in income for 3 consecutive years. Yeah, so unless like this is you, this isn't going to affect you. The billionaires the billionaires would pay capital gains rates on their gains that year rather than putting off the bill indefinitely by holding on to the assets. Yeah, so losses would offset that liability. Capital gains tax for assets held over a year top out at 23.8% currently, less than 37% maximum for regular income. A new levy would also be placed on assets that do not trade as easily, like real estate or stake in the business. In that case, the billionaires would essentially pay a surcharge when they sell the asset. So if you try to just like dump your assets, then you're gonna have to pay taxes on that too. Not all billionaires are opposed. George Soros, the investor and liberal activist, is supportive, his spokesperson told Reuters on Monday. A ProPublica report in June said Soros paid no federal income taxes for 3 years in a row. Citing private Internal Revenue Service data, it said Amazon's Jeff Bezos and Tesla's Elon Musk, the first and second richest person. I think Elon Musk is number 1, Jeff Bezos is number 2. By only 42 billion. Just 42 billion, that's it. Had also been able to skirt off federal income tax in some years. Yeah. Thank you, chat. Ding, ding, ding. Heavily toning down capitalism would be a massive disjoint to present economics and society. Doing it fast could starve and kill people. Wait, you don't think that's happening right now? Wait, you don't think that's happening right now? The new law would likely include a set of rules to ensure the wealthy comply, including giving the federal government the power to examine whether trusts, estates, or other legal structures are being used to evade the tax. Now that's why they're mad. That's why they're mad. They're mad because they're mad because the federal government is going to have the teeth to actually enforce this, and it's not going to be as easy to get away from this tax. That's why they're mad. Thanks for the follow, Deck Record. Appreciate that. Being used to evade the tax. Still, the proposal would put new pressure on the IRS, which enforces U.S. tax law that has been hollowed out by budget cuts and hobbled by obsolete technology. So TLDR, the IRS would need to have a funding allocated so that they can do their job, which should be in the first place. It should be already a thing. But yeah, I agree with this. I absolutely agree with this. The fact that like billionaires are getting really mad about this because it's going to provide the federal government with the teeth it needs to enforce these things, and it's going to also kind of checkmate them, where it's not as easy. It's not as easy to move around it, is enough for me to be like, yep, it's a long time coming. That's a meme, Astro London. That's a meme. That's the exact same excuse. That's the exact same excuse they used back then to say that we should never tax the wealthy. Nah. Are you going to talk about the floods in Northern California later? We did, briefly yesterday, but yes. They also proposed an international-based tax as well. So if there's property tax that correlates with the surface area of the homes, the more homes they own, the higher the tax rate. So more homes rental monopolies own the higher tax rate, leading to a smaller take-home property tax. Non-land owners would have no taxes, so the poor can afford mortgage rates easier. No, I don't think that's how that works. Spiny Watson. I don't think that's how that works. The reason why the poor can't afford mortgage rates is because A, it's all based on what, chat? How do you get a home mortgage loan? How do you get a mortgage? How do you get a mortgage? You have to pass a credit check. That's right. A credit check. Follow-up question. What doesn't help your credit? Follow-up question. What doesn't help your credit? Debt and that's right, credit score. Yes, you were Tendera, but I'll go over it briefly in a moment. Yes, debt and rent. Okay? Debt and rent don't have any positive effect on your credit score, which you need to get a loan to begin with. Furthermore, poor people are more likely to have debt, for example, like medical debt. Thendera just pointed that out. Student loan debt, all of this stuff, which kind of like torpedoes credit card debt, which torpedoes because you need these things to survive. Because we don't have like anything remotely close to like living wages or anything like that, which torpedo a person's ability to get a proper mortgage loan, yada yada yada. Take that on top of the fact that there's like massive corporations, like for example Zillow, who are just like buying up all properties, large investment firms that buy up all properties. Yeah, all of that is a recipe to answer your question as to why it's not that. It's you don't just do that, snap your fingers and oh yeah, look, we fixed home ownership rates by taxing people based on how much property square footage. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Don't ask me, I have zero credit. Yeah, and the problem with that is because, well, in order for you to have credit, guess what? You need debt. In order for you to even have credit, you need debt. You need to purposely get yourself into debt to even have credit, because credit cards and all this other stuff. You just need to, you are incentivized to put yourself on the hamster wheel to even have credit, to even have the ability to ask for maybe a mortgage loan at a okay rate. I'm sure Bezos' house would just be owned by a shell corp if we did that. Yeah, exactly. So like, nah, I highly reject the idea that we can solve all of this by making some weird property tax that correlates with like surface area. No. Do you need good credit? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Here in America, you absolutely need good credit to live a good life. Because how are you supposed to own a home? You need credit to get a good loan. You need to pass credit checks when even, which is oddly bizarre. I think you need to pass credit checks nowadays for renting. I think nowadays I think that's a thing. You need to pass a credit check to even have the opportunity to have a good credit card with decent rates. All of these things kind of tie back to that, which is really, really bizarre. The whole idea of a credit score wasn't even like a thing until 80s, I think. Oh, that's messed up, Darknet. I don't think I even got credit for my car payments. Oh, you know what? I gotta check that because... Oh wait, no. I got a loan through the credit union because that's the way to go. Credit union, and I think well, Tendera, think about it. Think about it. A couple people tried to move into my place and got rejected by the landlord. Ah, okay, so yes, I knew it. Yes. Calho. So yeah, now you need to pay, now you need to pass a credit score, which by the way, every time you get a credit check, it torpedoes your credit score. Every time you get a credit check, it torpedoes your credit score. Hey, misinformation. Safest way to build credit is through a credit union and get a CD account. That's a way. Howdy, howdy, political talks. Yeah, it's probably just easier to buy up the government. Yeah, that's what they figured. Astro. I don't know what Christian has to do with anything. Credit scores are kind of like the private equivalent of state enforcement, so in a way the state makes you do things by making you pay taxes. The private sector makes you behave a certain way to have a credit finance along with the ways the economic system works. Just now it's hard to envision how it works without those behavioral modifiers in place. Yeah, but I think that we could change that, James Napper. I think that if people had a way of moving about society without this, then I think we can go back to that. I think we can go back to that. If you aren't a Christian, what does Christian married couple mean? Renting a room together, it will be impossible to save enough money for a home. So what you mean is, if two people who are married, I don't care about Christian, whatever, doesn't matter to me, are renting a room together, it will be impossible to save enough money for a home. Why is that? One of the reasons why I refuse to get a credit credit equals debt, which means more corrupt state control, so I'm gonna stay with a debit card. Yeah, but here's the thing, right? You're right. I try not to use a credit card at all. But unfortunately, in order for you to have a credit score, in order for you to be able to move around in terms of like getting a loan, which you may need to buy a car, to buy a house, or everything like that, or maybe you need a emergency a fund for a credit card. You need to have like an emergency backup. You need that. It's like, it's so messed up how like they trap you in this like hamster wheel. In a hamster wheel, all like related to credit scores. I get a lot of points and I can redeem them for flights and car rentals. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's what you should do. Exactly, Kalo. But I do understand political talks. I do understand how one could be like, yeah, I don't want to. Trust me. They gave, and it's so like, sometimes it can be incredibly, credit cards can be incredibly predatory. I don't know if I've told this story here in chat, but no, it wasn't Wells Fargo. Oh man, I forgot the bank. It was a long time ago, but anyways, they gave 18-year-old me, an 18-year-old kid, $1,500 in credit limit, no holds bar. They just said, here, take it. What could possibly go wrong? Because 18-year-olds make very, very sound decisions at 18 years old. And then boom, you're trapped. It's a loop. It's stupid. They turned the whole thing into a game. Yep. Is it complicated? Is it this is complicated on purpose, or am I just stupid? No, I don't think you're stupid. I think that to a degree, it is complicated. It's on purpose. Exactly. I mean, I can somewhat understand why credit scores exist on basic patterns. A private group gives some loan of money. It helps to know that such a person is capable of willing to pay it back. Otherwise, it would be very risky. Yeah, but the fact that it gatekeeps important things, like, I don't know, a house, that's kind of where I have problems, right? I have a reward credit card too, so I set the limit so I can pay the full balance with one paycheck and use it on everything. Gotcha. What was the rate on that card? I don't remember, to be honest, but it was all fun and games until I, at 18-year-old, decided to just pew. I was like, oh man, this is awesome. I have 1,500 bucks just chilling. No. Oh yeah, just work 80 hours a week and pay off the debt. Yeah, nah. That's not life. That isn't life, my friend. Hey, just work 80 hours, dude. Just work like a bunch just work your life away for $1,500. The reason why Christianity was brought up, yeah, turn over those tables, Jesus. That's right. It's because the Bible is very anti-charging usury, which is an old word for interest. The credit system survives on charging interest. Many pastors preach their congregations to not get credit. Oh, I see. Well, I think that the idea can lock someone out of having a place to live is wrong on a lot of levels. Yeah, no kidding. But then I suppose the counter-argument would be you can reform housing rather than reform credit. Yeah, you can take the essential things for life and remove them from any type of shenanigans, right? You remove the essential basic things for life. Food, housing, education. Food, housing, education, and healthcare. You remove those type of barriers like credit away from that. It should just be. Early Christianity was sort of communist. Communism, it didn't focus on the means of production, but it did share all the wealth. True. Well, the way it was written down can be interpreted that way, Kal-El. And then, of course, you know. Yeah, if you, yeah, it turned into something completely different. It turned into GOP Jesus. It turned into GOP Jesus. Anyways, the point is, like, to supply from commie Jesus to supply side Jesus. So anyways, yeah, I agree with you, James. I just think that it should just be decoupled. Like, a lot of these things that are essential should just be decoupled and be separate. It should just be a baseline of how people should just have, right? Like, just food, housing, education, and healthcare. I think these are essential things that should not be put in front of a barrier such as money. What would happen to our system if we just gave everybody free housing? Our economy depends on people working their entire life just to have a place to live. Oh no, what would happen to our system? No, it would change. Oh no. How will we ever survive? You mean people would just, like, realize that there's, like, better ways of dealing with these problems? Oh, the atrocity. Yeah, of course. I think that there would definitely be some shaking about, Darknet. That would be a thing. Line would go down. Line would go down in some sense, yeah. Isn't there a lot of countries who basically got rid of homelessness? There are some countries that have done that successfully, and they're still around, and they still have an economy, and they still have everything. So yeah, people would over-consume and global warming would speed up if housing was free. Negative. That's not how that works. People are over-consuming now. I mean, I guess I think we both agree that housing should be commodified and therefore shouldn't require credit and loans, since I didn't think there's a difference between someone owning a home and someone wanting a credit card to buy a TV. Oh, yeah, absolutely, James. Yeah. Anyways, TLDR, billionaires should pay their fair share, and buddy over here is an absolute clown. . Most people would probably work a lot less. Oh no! Oh no! You mean the overworked people are gonna have like some reprieve? Means less working means less climate change. Yeah, true, actually. Yeah. But even then, I don't know how much exactly would it decrease like work. I mean, I'm sure that in some areas it would, in some sense it would, but how much? Because like stuff still needs to like be done. So I don't know if it like, if it would like, you know, I don't know. Most folks who receive the child tax credit use it for essentials. That's fucking terrible. If they, that they were doing so fucking poorly that they're still using this extra money on food. Yeah, I know. I know. You heard about the shooting yesterday. Very sad times we're in. Yikes. Yikes. Some reminds me a little of what you would speak out and study. Is the concept of free housing what it takes part to get people to believe in climate change? No. No, I think that if people had like housing, I don't know. I mean, I guess it could have an impact. Sure, because of you know, less work, less climate change, less, I guess, energy is being spent, less emissions. But I don't know. I don't think we need climate change to. I don't think we need climate change to really say like, oh yeah, maybe we should have like, I don't know, housing. Maybe housing like is kind of an important thing. With shooting, I think they posted it on the Discord. I think the sad part is that we have to ask which one. The sad part is that we have to ask which one, Kal-El. If you want to solve global warming, you need to decrease energy consumption and movement. Well, you need to solve the consumer consumption part. And I think that it's not really necessarily it's not really a problem of energy consumption. It's how it's made, because you can consume unlimited amounts of energy if it's renewable, right? If you have like solar panels on your house, or if you have like an entire city powered by solar, it doesn't really matter how much you consume, right? Yeah, maybe. And hear me out. Maybe and there it is. No, it's definitely not overpopulation. It's overconsumption of our consumer system is the problem. Okay, that's the problem. Yeah, consumption by who? Silver Night Dragon with a cute animal video. We've got one on queue, so let me do that after this story. If we put solar panels in the Sahara Desert, there'd be enough power to sustain the global energy needs. Well, maybe. So like me and I guess Englehart, it's always fascinating to wonder why different countries have different norms and behaviors, and by extension different policies for their society. It's interesting that he's very work heavy, low safety net, where Europe is the opposite. That kind of thing doesn't happen by accident. It's also linked to values each society holds. Yeah, no kidding. We can do better. We can do better. Alright, so, actually, you know what? We'll do the cute animal video, because this is going to be a mauled session right here. I think this one's cute.
There was something about the music that she was fascinated with, and that's what
Isn't that adorable?
What really drew me to her and her to me. I was probably 15 other donkeys
That's not
in
true,
there.
Spidey Watson. Solar panels are actually the cheapest form of energy right now, actually. So you're just wrong on that one. Nickel is running out. Yes, but there are alternatives to nickel.
And Hazel made it known that I was all hers and no one else was going to get near her. And she was jealous from the very first day that I played for her.
Isn't that awesome?
I just feel like one of the most special things about Hazel is the fact that she's so loving. I believe she would come up to the car and just would cry.
Aww.
I know, baby. I know. Come here. I'll be back.
Gonna become an old lady one day, and maybe she become a grouchy old lady. I don't know. So, we'll see what happens. But right now, I'm actually making a donkey smile, and that makes me feel good.
You're not listening. Wouldn't mining to make solar panels be bad for the environment? Well, the alternative would to be the alternative would be to just keep going the way we are? That's not acceptable. I love the fact that this channel only shows rescued animals and not farmed animals or exotic pets. Yes, the dodo is awesome.
There was something.
We have, let's see what else we can queue up, because I know I owe Alio share a cute animal video, so we're gonna have to queue up another one. Well, the problem with nuclear is we won't get all these nuclear plants on board at the time, in time. Whereas if we have solar, wind, hydroelectric, and all these other renewable forms, we would be able to get those online faster and avoid the whole disaster of like a potential nuclear catastrophe by doing solar, which is cheaper. Again, it's the cheapest form of renewables. Wind, hydroelectric, all these things can be put online faster and more widespread by the time we get to putting these nuclear facilities online. That being said, if there are already nuclear facilities online, we shouldn't trade them in for coal or shut them down because it's too expensive or whatever. At this point, the point is more mining already is happening, but you can use mining to produce to mitigate other emissions than just letting it be for mindless. Yeah, exactly, for mindless things. Thank you. Correct. A lot of stuff needs to happen together, and that's fine. Everyone is working on their own paths, but the corpos are definitely not helping. True. Yeah, we need less updates to that iPhone, some more real innovation. The real innovation would be to stop making these planned obsolescence devices. It's a combination of redistribution, degrowth, and replacement of energy types. Those are all things that need to happen, for sure. Howdy, howdy, Dacapolion. Yeah, exactly. So we need to queue up another one just in case for Elio. Oh, I think this one is going to be cute. I think this one is.
I heard something behind me.
Alright, we'll queue this one up for Alio in case they decide to come up. Yeah. Things should be repairable, upgradable like a tower PC, but all tech. Yeah, exactly. None of this planned obsolescence designed to drive consumption, and these like every time a new iPhone comes out, now you have to buy another dongle for it to be able to use X, Y, or Z, and that causes other problems. You have to throw away your other cable because now it has a new cable, so on and so forth. It's like, Jesus. So yeah, lots of things that need to change in terms of how we behave. Yeah. Alright, so we have this one queued up just in case, because it might be a 2-for-1 special today, folks, for cute animal videos. In the meantime, A mom told Jeff Bezos that Amazon was underpaying her $90 bucks a month, sparking an internal probe that found the company was shortchanging some workers. Nice. Nice meme. An email sent to Jeff Bezos from an Amazon worker who was on leave triggered an internal investigation that exposed flaws within the company's payroll system. The New York Times reported, Tara Jones, an Oklahoma Amazon warehouse worker, emailed Bezos in 2020 to tell him that she was being underpaid $990 out of the $540 she was supposed to get a month. The Times reported she had a newborn baby at the time. I'm behind on bills, all because the pay team messed up. I'm crying as I write this email. The Times interviewed Amazon staff and reviewed internal documents that showed that Amazon subsequently discovered that it was shortchanging some employees who were on leave, including medical and disability leave. Yes. This is great. This is unbelievably wild to me. It's not. It's the cherry on top is not that it's just good old fashioned wage theft, but it's shortchanging people who are on medical and disability leave. That's the cherry on top of this one. Holy yikes. There's no perfect energy solution. Nothing is free, but the question of the climate is more about efficiency rather than abolition. Right now, we're very inefficient and wasteful, which results in need of really intensive sourcing of materials. Yeah, all of that plays a part, James. All of that plays a part. In terms of how we deal things, of how we make things, of how we use resources, of how we reorganize our priorities, including energy. All of that plays a part. Clearly, we're not... we use the most inefficient, most polluting ways possible in exchange for, I guess, quickness or convenience. I don't know. So yes, good old nothing like good old wage theft with the cherry on top of making sure that it's the medical and the people who are on leave, including medical and disability leave. The problem spanned at least a year and a half, potentially affecting as many as 179 warehouses. The Amazon spokesperson told the Times that the company was still in the process of identifying workers it had underpaid. Yeah. Okie dokie. So if this person had never spoke up, had never decided to make an email to Jeff Bezos himself, had not gone to the media, or the media had not reported on this, I should say, then this would just continue. Think about that. One of those people, a warehouse worker from Tennessee named James Watt, told the Times that his disability payment stopped for several months in the spring. Watt told the Times that his car was repossessed, that he and his wife sold their wedding rings. Jesus. I think that, holy yikes. There should be, like, massive consequences for this. There should be massive consequences for this. This isn't, like, an okay mistake. This isn't, like, a whoopsie, my bad. No. This isn't like oh, I'm sorry, my bad, kind of mistake. This is unironically people's livelihood that you're messing with. Jesus Christ. Current and former HR employees told the Times that workers facing medical problems were automatically fired by Amazon's attendance software after mistook their leave for absence. The memes just keep getting better. Yeah, exactly, Silver Knight. If you're going to exploit your workers, make sure you start with the most vulnerable. In the end, it comes down to energy conversion, even food. There's so much efficient ways of getting energy into humans that say beef farming. Oh, now there is a thought. But we choose the most inefficient option that results in sourcing. Us sourcing more energy elsewhere, food, raw materials for pens, tractors, fuel for animal waste, where we would need 1/3 of that energy if people just ate crops, basic energy conversion, and pointless waste. Huh. Now there's a thought. There's a thought. Yeah, of course, James Snapper, I agree with you. current and former HR employees, so not just like these disgruntled HR employees, current HR employees as well, are saying that workers facing medical problems get automatically fired by Amazon's attendance software after it mistook their leave for absence. Like I said, like Silver Knight Dragon said, just make sure that when you exploit your workers, you start with the most vulnerable. Cool. Thanks, Amazon. Everyone should go vegan. Everyone should be moving to a plant-based diet, I agree. Heat 420, how's it going? The condition is working, we're just used to it now. The conditioning is working, we're just used to it now. True. Yeah, true. Nonetheless, it's still kind of shocking. It's still kind of shocking to see it in your face. By the way, I went over that story that you posted, Heat. So I'll reiterate again, in the UK, there's like a, I guess, trend to, there's a trend to, inject women, I guess, with, drugs, to drug them. And, yeah. So I basically came up with the, galaxy-brained take, which is, just don't do that to women. And, be careful out there. Doc rating with a party of 9. Welcome, everybody. How's it going? Welcome, everybody. If you guys don't know who I am, yeah, I know it's a big take. Sourcing support. Howdy, everybody. If you guys don't know who we are a difficult truth. We do news and politics Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So feel free to hang out. Feel free to make sure you hit that follow button as well. Follow us here. Follow us on the Discord, YouTubes, and all that other stuff. Lurking hard or hardly lurking. The Island Raid. So this also gives me an opportunity to say a couple of shout-outs. If you see anybody with a little diamond next to them, please go follow them. Please go follow them. And how's your day? I'm hanging in there. Hanging in there. I think sourcing. I think I got sourcing. Yes, please go follow some of these wonderful folks, okay? Thank you. I appreciate the raid. Yay! Oh, I built in a loophole? Oh no. Uh-oh. Did I do that by accident? Alright, so, the TLDR, if you guys are just joining in, the story that you guys are joining in here, I'll just recap here. Amazon has been undercutting employees who are on leave, some of them on disability and medical leave, and now they're finally being aware of it and fixing the problem. And the last thing that we went off here is apparently current and former HR employees told the Times that workers facing medical problems were automatically fired by Amazon's attendance software after it mistook their leave for absence, which is ridiculous, to be quite honest. Nathaniel Reyes, an Amazon HR employee who has recently been charged with fixing the company's leave system, told the Times that the company was trying to rebalance its mantra of optimizing for the customer. Yeah. Okie dokie. A lot of times because we've optimized for the customer experience, we've been focused on that. She added that the company was working to address the pain points and pay issues. Huh. Yeah. She also said the automatic firings were the most dire issues you could have. Really? Really? No kidding. Just automatically be fired by an app because you had medical leave. Amazon did not immediately respond when contacted by the insider for comment on the report. In the letter to shareholders last year, Amazon boasted that the lowest paid Amazon worker made more than 40 million people in the US. Bezos stepped down as CEO. Yeah, I don't care. TLDR is this is just absolute a horror story. 2 more weeks to the day and I shall. Yay. Nice. Most HR software is complete shit. This isn't a shock at all. Yikes. That's so horrifying. Imagine like you having like a medical issue and then like you get like a message or notification saying like, oh, sorry, you're fired. Wait, what? And even like furthermore, people being underpaid $90 per paycheck. $90 a month is massive. $90 a month is massive. Okay? $90 is food. $90, especially if you have a newborn, that's supplies. You need this. This, again, like I said earlier, this isn't like a whoopsie daisy, sorry guys, my B. No, these are people's livelihoods. You don't mess with that. You don't mess with that. Yeah, exactly. Now you have you have medical bills and no job. I still think like the concept of medical bills is beyond beyond wild to me. The concept of a medical bill. In my opinion, there should be massive consequences every time a company does a mistake like this. It should be there should be massive consequences every time a company makes a mistake like this. That way, they'll be more careful about making mistakes like this that get months swept under the rug or not paid attention to or any of that. I mean, oh my goodness. Do doctors need a house? Everybody needs a house. Gotta charge money then? I don't know what that means, but okay. Yeah, doctors need homes. Yes, doctors are, despite doctors, and this may be a radical idea, but doctors are people, and people deserve food, housing, education, and healthcare. Anyways, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, get fucked. Right, just a mistake. Yeah. And with no financial consequences, no accountability whatsoever, they just go, my B, and that's it. Meanwhile, the people who are being affected by this are still having to deal with the consequences of that. Why are their medical bills expensive? Why are their medical bills, period? What? Why are there medical bills, period? What? What? Yeah, there needs to be accountabilities for these terrible big business practices. Right, and I don't mean like, and I don't mean like, oh, this just becomes like, this just doesn't become like the norm. There should be massive consequences for messing with people's paychecks, right? That's not something you play with. That's not okay. Yeah, I keep reading about managers threatening employees for not working for free. Yeah, and I also keep seeing, like, especially in the service industry that is suffering right now because, well, it turns out if people don't want to work for shit wages, especially if the environment is so toxic and stuff like that, are quitting. And then, like, when other people are asked to take the shift and they don't want to, like, well, I guess you're fired. Like, okay, cool. Peace. Yeah, don't be afraid to fight for your rights. Okay, if you see something, say something. If you see something, say something, okay? Talk with your coworkers, that's okay. Why do medical bills exist? To pay off loans that doctors gotta pay so that hospitals can buy expensive equipment. That's not true. Medical bills exist to pay insurance companies. That's why they exist. We don't need medical bills. Medical bills shouldn't be a thing. It should just be covered with taxes. That's should be the government just print money for hospitals to eliminate medical bills? What? Wait. I'm sorry. I realize that you don't understand how any of this works by your earlier comments. Sorry. I mean, if you don't understand how this works, then I can't really say it in any other way. And that's folks who work at places with HR, not startups or freelance or gig workers. True. So, yeah, the government, yeah, you don't have to print out money to make something free. You can just reorganize priorities, and you should reorganize priorities instead of spending so much money on useless things like the overbloated military budget and things like that. And also, get rid of all those freebies for billionaires and millionaires. Just get rid of all those freebies, tax the heck out of them, and fund these social programs properly. That's it. It's not that hard. Speaking of which, President Joe Manchin puts paid family leave Medicare vouchers on spending bills on chopping block. Paid family leave, one of the hallmarks of President Biden's social safety net agenda, is in jeopardy after being pared once again or even cut from a major spending bill for the lack of support from President Joe Manchin. Manchin, one of the two Senate Democrats who have chipped away at the Biden's Build Back whatever, because it's not even worth calling it that anymore, is against including 4 weeks of paid family leave and medical leave, said two sources familiar with the negotiations. The provision was recently presented as a compromise to the 12 weeks. Oh yeah, here's my compromise. None of that. That's my compromise. Are we down to 1 trillion yet? I don't know. My bet was that it would get cut to 0.9. Yeah, healthcare bureaucracy costs more than it provides, especially the privatized system. The system that we have here is just absolute garbage. It's not. It's somebody made this comment before. I think it was oh man, I forgot the username. It said that we have a welfare system, not a healthcare system. President Manchin is against 4 weeks of paid family leave. Remember, paid family leave. And by the way, the conservatives here could step up and say, well, remember how conservatives are so concerned about the family? Well, wouldn't this be a perfect opportunity to demonstrate your principles? Or are conservatives here just foregoing those principles? If there is no medical bills, would there be an increase of people in patients? I think, like, at the beginning, maybe, yeah, because, well, people don't go to the doctor because they can't afford to go to even pay for the copay or anything like that. That's just too much. Like, I don't get it. It's very easy, Spiny Watson. It's worked in literally every other country that has done this has been wildly successful, okay? It's very simple. Tax the shit out of the rich and pay for robust social safety nets. I don't get it. That's right, Kyle. Preventative care over time reduces cost. You want people to go to the doctor. 60,000 people die a year because they can't afford health insurance. True. Would hospitals be able to handle the increase of patients? Hospitals or doctors' offices? Because not every patient is going to be going to the hospital. Like, are you okay? I don't get what your objection is here. President Joe Manchin is against including 4 weeks of paid family and medical leave. Medical leave. Can you imagine fighting in this country for the basic just medical and paid family leave that is available literally everywhere else? Said two sources familiar. The provision was recently presented as a compromise to the 12 weeks Biden initially proposed. Asked Monday whether he had concerns about paid leave proposal, Manchin said, "I'm concerned about an awful lot of things." This is coming after his very, very cool comments saying that he doesn't want people to develop an entitlement mentality. Okay, doctors work in hospitals. I don't get your point. These aren't arguments against it. Listen, it's very simple. A universal healthcare system is cheaper, more efficient, and would provide way more coverage than our current privatized system that is putting people in debt. That is literally disincentivizing people to get preventative care, making it more expensive down the road, and like things like this. So, like, yeah, dude. You're just off base, my friend. I'm sorry. If you want to continue to, like, if you want to continue to rationalize the predatory nature of a privatized healthcare system, because they're literally preying on the fact that you need this. You need healthcare. It's not an option. You can't forego it. You need healthcare. Yeah, so this is coming after his comments that he doesn't want the American people to develop an entitlement mentality. An entitlement mentality? Says the guy who has a plethora of entitlement. Go. Imagine how efficient America's workforce would be if the workers were healthy. That line would definitely go up. True. Entitlement means we must not change and the poor deserve hardships. Exactly. Huh? Oh, okay. Might I recommend that you never use the word entitlement as a propaganda word? Those are obligations to the government of the people. True. True. What? Hey, listen, just say you don't like poor people and just say that you think everyone should unequivocally get fucked. Alright? Just say that. It would make our life easier, Spiny. Holy shit. Holy shit, it's not that hard. Just say, hey, you know what? I think you deserve to get don't mean like that, Kal-El. Right. Yeah, the struggling single moms are the ones who want government assistance, are the ones who are entitled. Jesus Christ. How hard do you have to, like, rationalize a system that is so busted? The Olympic levels of mental gymnastics one needs to go through to rationalize the idea of a medical bill is just wild to me. Thank you for the resubscription, Alio. I appreciate that. I also owe you a cute animal video. The idea that people take the most Olympic level of mental gymnastics to rationalize the concept of a medical bill is just bizarre and beyond my understanding. Anyways, that's enough of that. Alio, we owe you a cute animal video. So first of all, again, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate that. And we owe you a cute animal video. So everybody should thank Alio for showing up today because it's a 2-for-1 special. Okay, it's a 2-for-1 special.
I heard something behind me, and there's just this wild raccoon.
Oh, what happened to your eye?
She got a little bit closer to me, and a little bit closer, and I could get a better look at her. She just looked rough overall.
This is the eye that's missing right there. She only has one eye.
Aww.
She will only let me touch her when she wants grapes.
She could not find food on her own because of her poor eyesight. She kept on coming back to my back porch asking for food over and over again. I also noticed that she was nursing. She wasn't gonna make it on her own if I had not fed her.
That's it, no more.
Aww.
Get your bread next.
That's right, Kal-El.
Okay, bye, Mama. Have a good dinner.
Aww.
2 weeks later, the mom brought me the babies. A year and a
So
half later,
cute.
I'm so glad that mom is still here. She was in a pretty bad shape when I first met her, but a year and a half later, she's still around and she's doing great.
Look how cute.
Aww. Yeah, they definitely do. That's so cute. Feeling all warm and fuzzy. Feeling all the warm and fuzzies. True. I bet they love the grapes. Yeah, I think they do. Clearly. That's right. Some folks can't just help but lick the boot eventually. Hope it tastes bad to them. Yep. Likely when they get to the bone. Hey, Chashmancer, how's it going? Yeah, I just can't, like, I just can't put it into words. How do you rationalize that? How do you look at that and be like, yeah, it's perfectly okay that people can't afford healthcare. It's fine. It's just the way things are. Unbelievable to me. Thanks for that, of course. Have a doctor's appointment. Cheers, folks. See you later. Hey, have a good one, Kal-El. Going well enough. Thanks for asking, of course. See ya. Appreciate you hanging out here. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment about President Manchin's position. Shortly after Manchin's remarks, he was seen huddling with Senator Kirsten Gillibrand for several minutes outside the office of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Gillibrand told reporters that she is negotiating with Manchin to ensure that paid family leave stays on the bill. I think he's open to this in good faith. Nah, I've dropped that out of my mentality. I don't think so. I think he fully understands this is essential to working parents and working families across America. Except that's not really the attitude portrayed from a person that says, and I'm quoting him, quote, "We wouldn't want Americans to develop an entitlement mentality." Okay? Those words are still etched in my brain to how like awful this person is. No, I don't think he's in good faith, and no, I don't think he understands. Oh, well, maybe he understands, he just doesn't care. He understands, he just doesn't care. Yeah, he met Maskoff pretty fast, true. I love how you're calling him President Mansion. Yeah, that's basically his reigning title, because clearly he's the one between him and Madam President Cinema are the ones that are kind of oddly enough calling the shots here. Did he say that in the boat video? I don't know when he said it, but I remember reading it and I remember the quote etched in my brain. So, yeah. Oh, there's actually a Twitter account on like that? Oh, man. Democrats are pushing for a robust paid family leave program, but right now 4 weeks is looking more likely. An aide closely involved with crafting the provisions told NBC News, adding that the proposal is being fiercely negotiated. You mean attempting to be axed? The US is one of just 8 countries without national paid maternity leave. That's unbelievably embarrassing. Unbelievably embarrassing. Richest country in the world, everybody. Yeah, girl boss queen cinema, true. Her Majesty. I swear I'm not the account owner. Even if Democrats were to settle on 4 weeks of paid parental leave, the US would still lag numerous other countries. The global average for paid maternity leave is 29 weeks. 29 weeks. Best I can do is 4. And it is 16 weeks paid for paternity leave, according to data from the World Policy Analysis Center at UCLA. Manchin is also souring on Medicare vouchers to help cover annual dental costs, as well as a push to expand Medicaid in Republican-led states that have not expanded coverage. Biden's original proposal called for broadening Medicare coverage to include dental care. Correction. Biden's original proposal called for broadening Medicare coverage to include dental, eyeglass, and I think something else. Eyeglass, dental, and there's a third provision because of Senator Bernie Sanders. Not that this was any idea from Joe Biden. It was only included in the original proposal because of Senator Bernie Sanders. I mean, you know, this is just out of this world to me. How does I really want to know how President Joe Manchin can get up there and tell a West Virginia senior that he doesn't even want a voucher to help cover annual costs. Never mind just making it so, because like vouchers are like an unnecessary roundabout way instead of just directly funding it. He's not even agreeing to that. How are you going to tell seniors that? Hearing aids, thank you, Alio. Thank you, hearing aids. That's right, hearing aids, dental care, and eyeglasses. The only reason that's in there is because of Senator Bernie Sanders. That's it. Some Democrats have said too many key components of Biden's spending package have already gutted to satisfy Manchin and Sinema, from President and Madam President Manchin and Sinema of Arizona and other Democratic holdouts in the Senate. The other Democratic holdout, new opposition to paid family leave, a priority for Biden and progressives, would mark a significant setback in negotiations over the bill. Holy yikes! How hard is it to seriously just do this. Okay, this isn't like some radical proposal. Holy sh... God. During a trip to New Jersey on Monday, Biden commended Governor Phil Murphy, a Democrat, for offering paid leave and made little mention of his own leave proposal. Yeah, like, dude. West Virginians are mostly supportive of Sanders and his bill components. Yeah, I bet. Because West Virginia has a lot of seniors. And you know what? President Joe Manchin is going to have to answer to them. In an ideal world. President Manchin and Sinema would be sued anywhere else? Yeah, probably. Sanders is the most popular political figure in West Virginia. These bills are about competitiveness versus complacency, Biden said. They're about expanding opportunity, not opportunity denied. They're about leading the world or continue to let the world pass us by. Advocates have felt confident that 4 weeks of paid leave would make it into the final bill, especially because the provisions meets Manchin criteria for work requirements and means testing. The optimism appeared to drop over the weekend as advocacy groups sent email blasts asking allies to ramp up their efforts to support paid leave on social media, according to emails obtained by NBC News. After Republicans made clear they would unanimously oppose Biden's social safety net. Again, this is a party that supposedly values family and whatever, and they're nowhere to be found. No principles. Without any Republican support, Democrats cannot afford to lose any other 50 votes in the Senate and must hold their narrow majority together in the House. Moderate conservative Democrats, especially Manchin and Sinema, have taken issue with several aspects of Biden's spending agenda and have sought a smaller price tag than the $3.5 trillion top line that was initially proposed. Again, this is over 10 years, and again, this was already negotiated down from the original $6 trillion. So, this is beyond me. Didn't Bernie pay attention to the coal miners and families or do a rally there? I'm not sure. That was initially proposed. Biden had hoped to get the bill passed by the end of summer, but internal negotiations have dragged on for months, i.e., President Manchin and Sinema are essentially stonewalling the Build Back Better plan to try to put something, even a modicum, of improvements in this country. At a dinner with reporters in Washington, D.C., President Manchin said he believes a deal is doable and adding there must be balance. I don't get this. Do I think we can do something? I absolutely do. Do I think it will be done? Well, you kind of hope so. Wait, but that's on you. Wait. That's on you, President Joe Manchin. Do I think it will be done? Well, you kind of hope so. I mean, you better produce some type of results. The midterms are going to be a bloodbath. But I do think that there's a kind of balance to it. I don't get what that means. Manchin said he regularly talks with the president privately, adding that Biden's nickname for him is JoJo. Okay. We've known each other for quite some time. He's a good man. He's truly a good man with a good heart. Okay. West Virginia lawmakers went on to say that it's been difficult for him to get on the same page as his Democratic colleagues in the Senate. I have a hard time and I'm totally out of sync with the... Yeah, I know. You really are. You're out of sync with not only the Democratic Party, but you're also out of sync with the needs of West Virginia. You're also out of sync with the needs of the American people. Yeah, it seems to be a theme for you, Mr. President Joe Manchin. I love them all, and I love all the Republicans. I know you do. So I'm just trying to survive in a very, very, very divided Congress and a very divided country. Okay. I think we'll get something, I really do. Manchin added of a potential deal on spending. Biden told reporters early on Monday that his hope is to reach an agreement on the social policy bill before he leaves this week for the G20 summit in Rome and the UN Climate Change Conference in Glasgow, COP26. That's what it's being referred to. It'd be very, very positive to get it done before the trip. Schumer, who joined Manchin on Sunday in Biden's home in Delaware to discuss the spending bill, said on Monday there were 3 or 4 outstanding issues. He did not go into detail. No one ever said passing transformational legislation like this would be easy, but we're on track to get this done. Transformational legislation? Really? That's your transformational legislation? The radical idea of paid family leave that is literally available almost everywhere else. That's your radical transformation. Paid maternity leave, 2 years of community college where everywhere else they offer you a full college education as a default. That's your radical transformation. The idea that maybe we should be moving, kind of, sort of, hopefully, to more renewable energy to remove ourselves from fossil fuels and transform to renewable energy. That's your really big transformative proposal. When other countries have done miles ahead of us. That's your transformational legislation? Really? Or is that just maybe the bare modicum of what you should be doing? Period. Just saying. Some House Democrats are putting pressure on Manchin to keep certain components of the Biden proposal intact. Representative Jim Clyburn called Manchin on Sunday after his meeting with Biden and the two lawmakers discussed Medicaid, multiple sources confirmed. South Carolina is one of the Republican-led states that did not accept federal loan dollars to expand Medicaid. Congressional Democrats are also searching a way to pay for the social safety net legislation, particularly after Madam President Sinema objected to raising the tax rates for the highest tax bracket on corporations. This is Democrats are discussing a surtax on people who make more than $10 million a year, two sources familiar with the negotiation said. But that would increase federal revenue by only $63 billion for a bill that is expected to approach $2 trillion. A similar proposal, which would have set the threshold at $5 million a year, was not supported by Sinema. Another revenue-raising plan in the works is the so-called billionaire's tax, which we went over. Senate Finance Committee Chairwoman Ron Wyden of Oregon told reporters on Monday that her plans to release this proposal this week, a strong sign that Sinema will not oppose it. We'll see if Madam President Sinema will be okay with it. Maybe she will grace us with her generosity in trying to get a billionaire tax on the board. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Family values, Christmas pick, not in the reality for the GOP, true. Yeah, Bernie tends to attempt to listen to everybody, and Bernie tends to attempt to go and really connect with the constituency, right? Like that's one of the positive aspects about Bernie Sanders. He actually gets out there and attempts to hold rallies everywhere. He attempts to listen to constituents, and he attempts to address those constituents with legislation. Like, for example, the things that he's been trying for years now at this point is to get hearing aids, dental care, and eyeglasses for seniors. I mean, it's unbelievable that we even have to argue about that. Folks, really quickly, I'm going to take a second to, of course, shill for myself. Folks, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. Please join us on YouTube. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the awesome YouTube stuff. And make sure you join the Discord, !Discord if you want to have the link in the chat. And !YT if you want to have a quick link to the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, comment, share, do all the awesome stuff. And my call to action to everybody that's here: if you guys enjoy the content, please spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And join us for Saturdays on Saturday Catterdays. So make sure you spread the word far and wide. That is the best way to support the channel without dropping a single penny. Can you believe that? Not even a single penny. Just spread the word as far and as wide as you can to everybody and anybody. I really do appreciate all of you guys hanging out here. So thank you. I appreciate that. All right, next story. Long COVID is a very debilitating condition with serious cognitive conditions, say researchers behind a new study, which kind of further cements the idea that originally was originally kind of in the background. People were saying, not people, doctors, scientists, researchers were saying that long COVID sometimes has a neurological effect. Well, here's a new story confirming that. A new study confirming that. A new study found that nearly 2/3 of long-term COVID patients reported brain fog, which included memory loss. Yeah. So that's the thing. In case you were wondering, or in case you happen to come across a certain conservative person by the name of Dennis Prager, who said that he prefers natural immunity and he wanted to get COVID, and instead of just doing preventative measures, which is free and widely available, in case we were still had any doubts. Yeah, roll the dice, my friends. This is what you could possibly end up with, even if you don't pass away. The author of a new study discussed the damaging impacts of long COVID patients to people whose symptoms last months after initially becoming infected. While work and the work of others have shown that this affects people's abilities to make plans, synthesize information, and do their daily activities at work, said David Petrino, Director of Rehabilitation Innovation at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. They suffer from a lot of memory loss and inability to form new memories, as well as difficulty with speaking. This is a very debilitating condition with serious cognitive conditions. But yeah, please tell me more about natural immunity. Please tell me more about how you're so skeptical about the vaccine. Yeah, I want to get a virus so that I don't not get the virus. Exactly, the logic is just flawless. Flawless. Vaccine boosters help, and is science? So far, we are seeing that that is looking like the case, Alio. In Petrino's study, research examined how long COVID can affect people's ability to work, and they found nearly half of long haulers surveyed said they were not able to return to full employment. Yeah, that's kind of just a tiny bit of a problem there, don't you think? The study also found that 2/3 of long-term COVID patients report brain fog. I'm just going to keep saying brain fog, aren't I? Brain fog, which includes memory loss. Petrino underscored CNBC's The News with Shepard Smith that long COVID is a real problem and that more attention needs to be paid to providing long-term care to impacted patients. Really, chat, this is a sad story. This is not good. This isn't like good news. But it does kind of cement the idea that, please, just do the preventative, do the cheapest, most effective preventative measure. Just take the vaccine, okay? Here, don't take it from me.
I recommend take the vaccines. I did it. It's good. Take the vaccine.
Thank you. It is affecting people of all ages. Remember the consistent conservative narrative. That is, it doesn't affect kids. Well, it shouldn't matter. Okay. It's affecting people of all ages and doesn't seem to discriminate on who it's going to strike down after an acute event. We need to organize and we need to start getting government groups involved in providing long-term care for patients who have been sick for over a year now with no real end in sight. That's pretty sad. Frogs are cute though, true. Boo. Yeah, so despite what these pseudo-intellectuals are saying on YouTube, on Facebook, or whatever, please take this seriously. And a ounce of prevention is worth a pound of treatment. Just take the vaccine, okay? It's cheap, it's free, it's widely available. If you have any skepticism, take the Pfizer one. The Pfizer one is fully FDA approved, has gone through rigorous testing. Just do it. Just do it. Fatalities on young are significantly lower. If I hear the word fatality one more time, I'm gonna just start banning people. Is there a problem with like listening? Is my microphone okay? I think people have a problem listening. Did I say, chat, in any instance of this article, did I say fatalities, or did I mention the death rate in this article? It's not just about the death rate. There are literal serious complications, neurological complications in long COVID patients. What if I don't want to? Well, have fun. Long COVID patients are having severe debilitating conditions with cognitive problems. Have fun. That's what you want? Want to roll the dice? And as I mentioned earlier, it's affecting all people of all ages, so it doesn't really discriminate against young or old in terms of long COVID effects that may be permanent and may require long-term care. So yeah, cool. Good luck. How many shots have you gotten? 2. Wait, 2? Like the recommended, according to the FDA? 2? You okay, buddy? You okay? Right, exactly. No boosters? Actually, have you read into it, or you're just spewing nonsense? Boosters are to be done 8 months or longer. Boosters are to be done 8 months or longer, depending on your risk factor. Tell me you haven't read any studies without telling me you haven't read any studies. Yeah, so, and I want to be clear. So the FDA has approved boosters for, I think, all of them at this point. And right now, from what I understand, right now the boosters are recommended for people who are at risk, especially those who are A, immunocompromised, B, on the elderly side, C, who are in environments where they may be more exposed. So those folks should recommend. It's highly recommended by the FDA. It's already been approved by the FDA to get a booster. I got a booster a couple of weeks ago, but I'm in the high risk group. Okay, well, yeah, because that's what makes sense. Obviously, that's what's been approved. I don't get it. Anyways, TLDR, this is not about the death rate. This is about the long-term implications of COVID, and this isn't a joke. This isn't to be taken lightly. Okay? This is a very debilitating condition with serious cognitive conditions. Okay? That's it. True heat. Is it worth it to own the libs? Ask Dennis Prager if it's worth it. Dennis, I have to tell you guys that I have COVID. I'm doing okay, but you know, I've taken monoclonal antibody treatments, but I just want to let everybody know that I'm okay. Yeah, that guy. CBD inhibits COVID replication, so does the vaccine. Okay. Is there like massive studies to replicate those claims? I'm not sure. Sounds like you would need to provide a source. Also, the vaccine is free, readily available, and FDA approved, the Pfizer one. Just do it. Alright. Things are about to get real good when it comes to the January 6th investigation. Arizona Republican Representative Paul Gosar, a close ally of former President Trump, reportedly floated a blanket pardon to 2 organizers of the January 6th pro-Trump rallies that descended into a violent attack on the Capitol. The allegations are part of a bombshell report from Rolling Stone where 2 rally organizers anonymously claimed there are dozens of beatings between organizers and members of Congress who helped plan the rallies. The 2 sources say they were in direct and regular contact with Representatives Major Marjorie Taylor Greene, Mo Brooks, Madison Cawthorn. Oh my god, it's the greatest hits, folks. It's the greatest hits. You can fact check me or take me at my word. Nope, he who makes the claim should have the readily available information to back that up. Or, if you don't have the readily available information to back that up, don't make the claim. That simple. It may be true, it may be not. I'm not gonna say one way or the other. I'm not here to do your homework. So, the usual suspects. Lauren Boebert fears Trump allies who have since the January 6th riots downplayed their violence. True. While complaining about the treatment of those who have been arrested for committing crimes that day. Also true. Sources say the former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and former Freedom Caucus member was deeply involved. Man, if this is true, Gosar's role is particularly damning. One of the organizers told Rolling Stone that Gosar gave him several assurances about a blanket pardon from Trump for charges stemming from an unrelated investigation in exchange for their help in planning the protests, an obvious quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. That organizer says at one point Gosar told him that I was just going over the list of pardons and we just wanted to tell you guys how much we appreciate all the hard work you've been doing. Yikes. The other organizer confirmed that Gosar dangled the pardons and complained that while they would have helped out anyways, to use something like that and to put that out on the table when someone is so desperate, it's really not good business. Okay. Yeah, I think we need some answers to some questions here. I think that the best thing that we can do is go full forward and get the is to get to the bottom of this, because if this is true, we need to know. If this is true, we need to know. Okay? And I think that these 2 folks should be subpoenaed by the January 6th investigation committee and should be forced to testify and produce the receipts so that we can have confirmation of this and we can oh, never mind. Never mind. I should have just read it. Okay. I should have just read it. Both of these sources say they're cooperating with the White House January 6th investigation. Alright, if they produce the receipts, once that becomes public, oh boy. Oh boy. If they can produce the receipts for that and that becomes public, because these are deeply disturbing allegations. These are deeply disturbing allegations. Oh, send it to me via whispers, Spiny Watson. Send it to me via whispers. I wouldn't be surprised if CBD is antiviral because anti-inflammatories generally are antiviral, but people should stop obsessing over anti-inflammatories and start getting vaccinated. I mean, like, it's cheap, readily available, it's free. I don't get it. Like, you can't get CBD everywhere, even if that's true. Sorry, CBD. Send it to me via whispers. Anyways, I think this is about to get really spicy as this January 6th investigation gets underway. Or continues to get underway. Let's see if we have time for this one. It's 18 minutes. We can try.
This episode is brought to you by CuriosityStream. Get free access to Nebula, the streaming platform built by all your favorite YouTubers, when you sign up for CuriosityStream at the link below. If you're unemployed, it isn't because there's no work. There is and always will be work to be done. What we don't always have is jobs. Let's back up a little bit. In this episode, we're looking at a uniquely capitalist failure, meaningless jobs and the unemployed masses. We'll unpack both of these phenomena and the different elements of a capitalist economy that shape our relationship to work. Every economic system to date has had its problems. Only under capitalism, however, has finding meaningful and useful work been an issue. It is a uniquely modern problem for an economy to be structured so that hundreds of thousands of people are without a meaningful job, and at the same time, hundreds of thousands have their most basic human needs going unmet. Our modern society is the only one in which people are both going without food and shelter, and it is actively disincentivized to organize things in a way that would help them. All of us can look around at our communities, our cities, our country, and see that there are things that need to be done, that there are issues we can all agree upon and want to see resolved. But we all know that there is only so much we can do as individuals, whether it's because we work long hours and need time to rest, because we're unemployed and need to actively look for a job, or because we're in a precarious situation ourselves. Most of us have barely enough time and energy, if any at all, to feed the hungry, house the homeless, or generally better our lives and those of the people around us. Many of us work jobs that feel completely devoid of meaning, that seem to help no one, and we still can't spend our time in more meaningful ways because we too need a steady wage to keep a roof over our head and food on our table. We are trapped, and it seems nearly impossible to get out. In the midst of all this, finding a decent job has become incredibly difficult. Long gone are the days of walking into a bank, asking to see the manager, and starting at a desk the same day. Industrial jobs have steadily declined for decades, and even the relative security of a college education has waned as more graduates go into low-wage or even unpaid entry-level jobs. There is little hope that this generation will achieve the financial stability of our parents. And for those who entered the job market at the height of the pandemic particularly, employment has been lagging far behind expected levels. So how did we get here? 3 different elements of capitalist society play into our current relationship with work: the profit motive, capitalism's purposeful misallocation of labor, and the crises that are built into the system's proper function. Let's start with the profit motive. At the heart of our current crisis is the fact that the profit motive, the feature that capitalists have told us makes capitalism so efficient, does a terrible job at properly allocating for human needs. Capitalists frame it like this: if you are incentivized to make profits, and the only way you can do that is by providing something that somebody else needs, a service or a product, self-interest will naturally transform into common good. Reality, however, turns out very differently.
Not long ago, Rita Levi Montalcini celebrated her 103rd birthday, and then
Okay, so right off the bat, we have a couple of issues with this paper. First of all, this is a preprint, so it has not been peer-reviewed. And the summary is, cannabidiol from cannabis plants has potential to prevent and inhibit infection. Potential. So a lot of this paper here is not confirmed. It's not even peer-reviewed. So further data is needed to make that claim. Does that make sense? Further information is needed to confirm that. Folks can check it out here. I'll post the link in chat.
Only can profit be generated in entirely speculative ways that don't benefit anybody, think cryptocurrency traders, but in just about every sector of the economy, the profit motive does more to pervert the common good than enhance it. In the pursuit of higher profits, companies will destroy brand new items, purposely build flaws into their product so they'll become obsolete faster, or throw away perfectly good food. As a direct result of the profit motive, our planet is increasingly polluted and we live progressively more wasteful lives. But the market of goods isn't the only place capitalism's incentives don't work in our favor. When work enters into the equation, we see the same thing happen. The endless search for profits leads people at the very top of our society to make far more than they could ever need or spend. At the bottom forms a vast chasm of crushing poverty. And it all starts at hiring. In the hiring process, the profit motive consistently leads the managerial class to offer lower wages, worse benefits, longer hours, and more dangerous working conditions to potential employees so that they can be the tiniest bit more profitable and gain a sliver of an edge over the competition. Workers face a similar dilemma, offering to be paid the minimum they can afford if it means they can guarantee getting a salary over the next person. Thanks to the profit motive, it is in the interest of the company to hire the fewest people, give them the least amount of money, and work them as much as possible to extract every last penny the competition isn't extracting themselves. But at the same time, the profit motive leads companies to offer jobs that are increasingly meaningless, but very profitable to shareholders. We'll get to that in a second. But first, let's look at the flip side of the coin, unemployment. While the profit motive can explain part of the equation, our lack of jobs is explained by another feature of the capitalist economy. For a capitalist system to function, it is absolutely essential for some people to be unemployed. This is called the natural rate of unemployment, and it is one of the foundational elements of our 21st century stage of capitalism. For companies to consistently push wages down in a capitalist economy, thereby increasing their profits, staying competitive, and retaining complete control over labor, two things must be guaranteed. One, there must be an available pool of desperate workers to pull from. There needs to be that segment of people experiencing not only unemployment and the heavy mental burden that comes with it, but also dire need so that an otherwise unappealing job gets filled. Hence the reason capitalists are so staunchly against sensible welfare provisions. So long as people are desperate enough, capitalists can cycle them in and out of jobs that barely allow them to maintain an acceptable standard of living. Two, and intimately tied with the first point, firing workers must be as easy as possible. Having a mass of unemployed, ready-to-work people available helps, but so does knocking down the barriers put up by unionized labor and government regulations so the threat of unemployment becomes more tangible. Were this not the case, profits would not be maximized for the capitalist class and their version of efficiency, slowly pushing them out of the market in favor of their more ruthless competitors. The quest to maximize profit therefore naturally pushes people into unemployment and artificially creates a scarcity of jobs. In other words, in order for the system to work properly—
Oh yeah, that's right, Doc. This one just hasn't, this one is just specific. I only said that because it specifically tells you that it's not. I'm reading specifically based on that, but yes, you are correct. Most of my preprints are unofficial copies of things that have or will be published. For example, preprint just means not yet published. Yeah, exactly. But I made sure to make a note of that. Yeah. I completely agree with you, Doc.
There must always be a reserve army of labor, a section of the population unemployed and actively worse off. In theory, economists estimate this to be around 5% of the workforce, a percentage of people who are unemployed but only for a short time. In reality, unemployment is maintained at a much higher rate, and includes far more people in both longer-term and more dire unemployment. Otherwise, hiring stops being quite so flexible and profitable for the owner class.
True.
This fact makes capitalism pretty unappealing. No society should only survive off the backs of underpaid workers and a steady flow of the desperately unemployed who face homelessness. But it doesn't end there. The profit motive and the overall organization of our economy pervert the notion of jobs entirely. Specifically, useful jobs are made unrewarding, while useless jobs become lucrative. This is David Graeber's thesis. Graeber was an anthropologist most well known for his 2018 book Bullshit Jobs. In this book, Graeber observed something we all know to be true. Some jobs exist solely to make the rich more money and to keep us working. Contrary to what we've long been told,
they should both
that as
be paid a
technology
living
improves,
wage at the
automation
base.
will ease our work week to fewer and fewer hours so we can more completely enjoy our lives away from the necessary labor required to maintain it. Our capitalist society has tightened its grip on exploitation for exploitation's sake. Instead of phasing out human labor as more and more jobs become obsolete, allowing us to reap the benefits of an advanced economy where humans don't need to perform all essential labor, the quest for profit has created new jobs that serve entirely to boost numbers on a computer screen, accumulate the wealth and power of a greedy few, and keep the masses locked into jobs that alienate us and exhaust us too much to fight for meaningful change.
True.
Despite a decline in farming and industry jobs, we produce enough to cover far more basic needs and general goods than we could ever require. So where did the jobs go? According to Graeber, jobs became meaningless. In a complete reversal of capitalist theory, where jobs should disappear as they become unnecessary, useless jobs have become a fixture of our modern economy. We work for work's sake. The numbers are on Graeber's side. In a poll of the British workforce, a full 37% of those surveyed felt their jobs were meaningless, and an additional 13% didn't know if their jobs made any meaningful contribution to the world. That's 50% of jobs. Half of jobs are deemed by those who do them to be pointless. Paradoxically, these are often the white-collar, highly valued, and most lucrative jobs that fall into this unfulfilling dead end. These are not the essential workers spotlighted by the pandemic, whom we all saw are foundational to our survival. It's not the minimum wage workers who work meaningless jobs. Instead, a capitalist system that pursues growth for growth's sake and drags us along, forcing countless workers into aimless employment with the threat of starvation, creates a landscape of pointless labor that serves only to keep the machine running smoothly for the benefit of those at the controls. The masses work not for the common good, but to accrue financial capital for the disproportionately small ruling minority. If things were different, if we did cast off these pointless jobs that might as well not exist, our entire system would come undone. Homelessness, the 40-hour workweek, minimum wage jobs, none of it would be justifiable if we eliminated our attachment to the profit motive, the delusion of infinite growth, and the ridiculous idea that we all need to put more than half our waking hours into a job regardless of its necessity so that we can simply pay for our miserable existence.
That part is
December
true.
2008.
Point, we should acknowledge that there is currently a labor shortage in minimum wage, particularly restaurant jobs. The reality of this situation, however, is not born out of any real shortage of people looking for a job, or the existence of too strong a social safety net, or a sudden lack of need for restaurants. People are realizing that when corporate lawyers make hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars a year protecting multi-billion-dollar companies from the repercussions of their harmful cost-cutting, offering the bare minimum poverty wage of $7.25 an hour, not providing benefits or flexibility for an appropriate work-life balance, or even a safe work environment for a necessary job is not going to get people lining up to work for you. Ultimately, the combination of a job market that actively pushes people into unemployment or meaningless jobs, kicks wages down to the lowest possible rung, and makes it unprofitable to provide for the needy despite our ability and desire to do so, creates an infinite cycle of worsening conditions. A more thinly stretched economy justifies austerity measures for out-of-touch governments. It continues to concentrate wealth at the top, and it makes it even easier for a greater degree of exploitation to be forced upon the working masses. Here we get to the final piece of the puzzle, the regular destabilization of capitalism. Every few years, in recent decades, about every 5 to 10 years on average, the entire economy crashes and enters a recession or depression. Huge portions of the population lose their jobs, the banks are bailed out, and after much suffering, mostly by the poor, things return to a new normal within a couple of years. Now just a little bit more fragile and a little bit more unequal. These crises, like the inaccurate rating of subprime mortgages in 2008 or the start of the pandemic in 2020, far from being the unexpected product of random happenings across the world, are a structural feature of a capitalist economy. And this is not a new idea. Non-capitalist economists anticipated the fragility of capitalism over 100 years ago. As Marx observed, and has been proven right time and time again as economic crises occur and continue to multiply, capitalism has a natural tendency to fall into crises as a result of what he called the falling rate of profit. Because capitalism naturally creates monopolies and the concentration of wealth into fewer and fewer hands, the rate of returns on investments continually falls. Over time, this problem balloons until investing money is less and less useful, stagnating an economy that needs to grow endlessly to survive, inevitably crashing it and dragging countless millions of human beings into precarity. Long-term sustainability is sacrificed at the cost of a fragile but functioning economy, liable to collapse at any moment. And when it does, it isn't capital that suffers, it's labor. Regular people end up without a job and without a safety net. The point of this video is not that we should do what every president has promised since the beginning and create more jobs. As we've seen, more jobs don't always make things better if those jobs are pointless, alienating, dangerous, or demeaning. What we need is to better recognize the role jobs are meant to play and make them reflect that role more accurately. Jobs should not just be a way to make money, for ourselves or for the executives. Work, whether it's within the framework of a job or not, should be conducted with the express purpose of improving the human condition, at both the individual and societal level. This is clearly not what wage-based labor accomplishes. Think of how many different things we could achieve if we committed our labor to our needs. We could improve our infrastructure in long-sighted and sustainable ways, build up our green energy capacity, increase the amount of available housing, focus on our local agriculture, make tangible, positive changes. These projects are rarely profitable, and that's why we don't see them today. Despite wage labor being at the center of a capitalist economy, it is neither natural nor eternal, and as we've seen, it makes people infinitely exploitable. It is not to be desired. Every socialist at some point or another has arrived or will arrive at this conclusion and argue that it is this unfair exchange, this contradiction between those who hire and those who sell their labor that is at the core of our biggest societal challenges. Seen through this lens, work is not simply an economic practice, it is a political act. As people who want a better future, whether you consider yourself socialist yet or not, it is therefore our goal to politicize work in a more just way, whether that's through co-ops, unionization, or direct democratic control. Countless theories on work, compensation, and political economy have been devised by socialist thinkers over the years.
All right, so it is just about 11:28, so I do have to get going, but I think the point is made, right? I think the point is made. CEO, corporate greed, and the people on the hamster wheel. Yep. And Social Security doesn't want to collect checks. Maybe 40% of your work history and then get taxed. Yeah. It's all great. All great. Very functional. Very normal. Very good system. Working perfectly. All right, folks. I thank you so much for hanging out with me today. As always, please, on your way out, first of all, hang tight. We are going to raid, so hang tight. Before we do so, though, I am going to ask you to please, on your way out, hit the follow button. Please, it really does help us out. Join us on the Discord, the YouTubes, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that awesome stuff. And join us Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern time on for news and politics, Saturday for Saturday Catterdays. Spread the word far and wide if you enjoy the content, that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics, Monday through Thursday, everywhere and everywhere. That's the best call to action that I could ask of you guys. That has it costs $0 and 0 cents to just spread the word far and wide, okay? I appreciate all of that. And of course, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for the support and the subs and the raid, Doc. Thank you, Alio, for the support, all the new follows. Please make sure you follow all of these wonderful folks. And thank you, Darknet. Appreciate you. I see you. Thank you. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. Don't worry, Ice Squiddy Games, just hang tight, and we'll go raiding. Okay. Dan Simpson looks good. I think they just started. Alright, hang tight with us, folks. Hang tight. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. See ya.